I put together sort of 7 key concepts to keep in mind when you're getting ready to promote a new product or service or course. The first is, and we're going to talk more in depth about this, but the first is you can't be afraid to lose email subscribers in order to gain customers. So in a launch, you're going to send more emails more frequently than you typically do, most likely. And it's very easy to go, oh no, but my list is going to go running for the hills and I'm going to lose my audience and whatever. And I'm going to give you some ways to avoid that happening. But also from a mindset perspective, you need to wrap your head around the whole reason the list exists is ultimately to turn them into customers. So the people that if you're giving emails that have value and you have your product and they're like, I don't want this and they run away, they were never going to be a buyer anyway. And so don't hesitate to promote because you're worried about shrinking your list. The second key concept here is that your promotional emails, while they are promotional, should be providing value even to non-buyers. So this relates to that first item. You are going to be sending emails that people are going to be happy to get, even if they have zero interest in buying. And so when we get into the actual emails, we're going to talk about how to do that, but that will also help you not feel as bad about, oh, I'm sending a bunch of emails. If you're sending a bunch of emails and each of them are valuable, people will actually enjoy it and thank you for it, even if they don't buy. If you're sending a bunch of emails that are just like, so are you going to buy or what? That is not going to play particularly well on either front. The third key concept you want to keep in mind is you want to tell your list up front that you're going to be sending emails, in your case, every day for a week or whatever. You give them a heads up of, hey, I'm doing this thing. You're going to hear from me more often than you usually do. And there's a reason for it. And here's the reason why. And here's what to expect. I think sometimes people make the mistake of just firing off all these promotional emails. They never let anybody know what to expect. And people are like, oh, I guess that she just changed her way. There's a difference between saying, hey, I'm going to send you an email a day for a week. And you just start getting an email every day and they think Daphne now emails me every day. So you want to give them some context for what you're doing. And the fourth concept is, which plays right into that last one, is when you tell them what you're doing, you can allow them to easily opt out of those promotional emails. So in your case, we'll talk about this, but you can say, hey, I have this new AI course. I'm going to be talking about it and be sharing excerpts of it. It's AI week. And so for every day this week, I'm going to send you an email. If you don't want that, if you don't care about it, click here and you won't get these emails this week. And you can do that by just adding a tag and you can automate it all depending on your email system, but it's relatively easy to do. They click it and say, I'm not interested in this offer. Invite people to opt out as opposed to opting in. Right. Don't say, hey, do you want this email? Say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Totally get it. If you don't want it, you're welcome to opt out. Just click this and you won't get any of them. Also, you can have that option and that line in each of the emails that you're sending. Somewhere in that email, you could say, hey, this is part of AI week, or I'm sending a daily tip to help you use AI. If you don't want to receive any more AI tips this week, click here. So if they stick around and after 2 or 3 days, they're like, oh, this isn't really for me, every one of those emails is giving them a chance to opt out without actually like fully leaving your list. The next thing, the fifth concept here is as you get buyers, and I forget, is your launch, all this is leading up to the buy date, or they're going to be able to buy partially while we're doing this?
The buy sales week is going to start not March, May 29th.
And these emails are going to be going out while it's on sale, correct?
Yes, correct.
Because some people do pre-promotion, but this is going to be going out when people can buy it.
Yes.
So you're going to have buyers, hopefully, and probably you're going to have buyers coming in. So as much as you can plan it ahead, that's great, but there's going to be some stuff that you're going to want to add. As you get buyers, you want to incorporate references to them into some of these emails and social posts. Oh, I'm blown away by how many people bought on the first day. So-and-so was thinking about buying, but asked me a great question. They weren't sure about this. So let me clarify that for you. So you want to think about that as much as you're going to have it planned ahead, there's going to be some fluidity and you're going to be generating this ongoing activity of look how many people bought and that kind of thing. And by the way, even if not a lot of people buy, you can still do that because you can still say, oh, I was so excited to see everyone that bought yesterday, even if everyone that bought yesterday was too. It's not a lie. You were excited to see them buy. You just leaving out the part that you wish more people had bought. And you can also reference who those kinds of people are, right? Especially for your audience, because different people have different needs. So you might say, oh, one of the things that's so exciting for me about this course is that it's relevant to all different kinds of people. Just yesterday, a professor bought it and an author bought it or whatever that is. So to show that. The sixth concept here is, and this is something I do with all my products. When people buy in that thank you slash welcome email, whatever they get, ask them two questions. One being, why did they buy now? And the other is what almost prevented them from joining. You will then be able to talk about that in future emails. So and so bought, even if you don't name them, a person bought yesterday and told me they bought because of blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The reasons they give you of this almost prevented me from joining, you might see some patterns and you can counter those in your emails. Oh, three people said they almost didn't join because they weren't sure if it would help them as an academic. I better reinforce that
Yeah.
it helps
Yeah.
academics, right?
Yeah.
So that's a really easy way to get some market research on the fly. And then the seventh concept here is when you are done with this whole thing, not a bad, more than not a bad idea. It's a good idea to email your non-buyers after it closed and ask them why they didn't buy. And not in a sort of just in a, hey, I'm really curious, especially because they won't have opted out. You were reading these emails, you got it, you were curious. I'm always looking to create products that people find valuable. And like, I'm curious, like, what led you not to buy?
Right.
And they might just say, I couldn't afford it. It wasn't the right time. Who knows what they'll
Mhm.
say, but that's helpful for you to
Mhm.
know. And they might even say some things that are misconceptions they have. They might be like, oh, I thought I had to be there at a set time. And you go, oh, no, actually, it's available on demand. And you might even be able to turn some of them into buyers if it's just a
Right.
misconception. But regardless, that's really helpful for you to know going forward.